I would like to welcome you today to the very short webinar called Crash Course, how to use the JIPO tool. And during this webinar, we're going to discuss how the JIPO Observatory Tool works in practice, how you can connect the tool to your website, and how you can experiment with the tool and its dashboard. So I would like to welcome today our speakers as well. Me, I already presented myself. Together with me there is David Osimo, the co-founder of Open Evidence, that is also responsible for stakeholders engagement for JIPO. We have also together with us Luis Mejueiro, who is responsible for technical development of the JIPO Observatory Tool and platform, and he can reply to all the very detailed questions that you might have. And I would also like to welcome the Ebrahim Percy Kenyanita from an organization called Access Now, who is also a member of our advisory group for JIPO, and he's going to support us during this presentation and give the perspective of the civic society. So now I would like to give the voice to a colleague of mine, David Osimo. David, can you speak?
Hi, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. So continuing the attention towards the JIPO tool. I would like just to explain a bit the reason why we are having this this presentation and the approach that we have chosen in the development of JIPO. As you all know probably by now, JIPO is a long-standing project by the European Commission to help making sense of the complex issues around internet governance and to basically disenfranchise the constituency to enlarge and widen the number of people who can participate into internet governance. What JIPO does, and we will see it today, it's basically manage, classify, and display in a user-friendly format different sources of information related to internet governance. And we will have a sense of this today. It simplifies access to information. It helps manage a huge amount of information using semantic analysis and other technologies. The goal is really to empower not only policymakers, but also civil society and citizens to browse through, to understand, to make sense of the complex issues of internet governance, and to use technology for doing so. Another, however, constituent which is important to us is other observatories. I mean, we are not, and the Commission is not the first one to be concerned about the complexity of internet governance. There are many, many observatories all over the world who already today give this service. And the Commission certainly does not want to duplicate, replicate, or compete, or even worse, compete with other initiatives that we like very much, that do similar things to JIPO. JIPO, from the beginning, has been designed, has been federated by design, has been designed keeping into account the fact that there are many initiatives around, and in order to raise awareness around internet governance, which is the common goal that we all have, the last thing we do, we should do, is to duplicate initiatives, fragment the audience, and compete with each other. So we have found a very easy and very fruitful collaboration with the many other initiatives around the world. We actually mapped here around 30 or more than 30 similar initiatives. So the idea is to serve the final users, the citizens, and the policymakers, but also to serve the existing intermediaries. There are many people, many organizations who try to generate awareness and to involve people into internet governance issues. And we should all collaborate. Now, this is all nice. You probably are smiling by now. I mean, we all love each other, but there is something more concrete behind this, actually. What does it mean concretely for us? It means on the one hand that we work and we strive to make the platform usable and effective and attractive to the final use. But on the other hand, that we enable open tools and open and accessible and usable tools for third parties to use our services and empower other organizations to provide internet governance services to their constituency. And today we have a very clear example of this. JIPO has an open API, has RSS feeds, has a set of tools, and also provides open source dashboard that other organizations, today we have one case to display, can use to basically create their own customized observatory around the issues that they are more concerned about and post it on their own website. So JIPO is really not trying to centralize the information to be yet another observatory, but to collaborate with existing observatories and help making their services better and more effective. And we are really doing what practices what we preach here now. We provide the tools and we provide the assistance to the individual organization, the NGOs, to host a mini JIPO, a customized JIPO on their website. And we've already done so, and today we will hear some information about this case and some example about this. And the idea for the future and what the call that we launch is that we are ready to provide and to empower and to provide the tools to all interested stakeholders to host their own mini observatory on their website, not only to access our website and to use the service, but also to host it in your own website. And there are very easy, cheap solutions that require very little development skills to make use of JIPO in a way that is more suitable to you, more suitable to your constituents, to the topic that your constituents are concerned about. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, you will hear much more about this from my colleagues, and we look forward to hearing from you and to your question and to your request on how we can make this better and more useful to all of you. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, David. Basically, I think David summarized the whole presentation today. We're going to go through different steps of JIPO observatory usage, observatory tool usage right now. Please remember that we want to be as interactive as we can. So feel free to ask. Your input is very important for us, so do not hesitate to add comments or critical input. But we want to make this webinar very interactive, so we're going to base it on the JIPO Observatory Tool itself. So what I would like to do right now is to invite you all to open the web page, the observatoryjiponet.org. You should be able to see the address on your screens right now. I'm going to try to do the same to show you the tool itself. So when you enter that, and here I will ask obviously my my colleague Louise to cover all the details or correct me if I won't be very clear on some things, but I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. This is the JIPO Observatory Tool main page, and as you can see, this is also what we're going to talk about today. You can explore internet governance issues. You can also get the visualization across the topics, and you can use the data and build it into your own website. So these are the three main functionalities of JIPO Observatory Tool. Now I'm going to switch it off. As you can see, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, so it's easier for us to see. I hope you can see it right now. As you can see, you can browse. This is the main page where you can search for specific items and browse for the information using different tags. Basically, the information is structured around different issues. Here we have the main issues: infrastructure, economic, security, development, human rights, social, cultural, and legal. We use these issues there. But let me see whether I can look for some issue. And here Luis probably is gonna help me out with some comments. But what should I look for example? Some topic that I want to look for. Okay, so I can I just use the I wanted to find the topic net neutrality. As you can see, here are the recent results. Then you can see on the right-hand side in which issues, from which issues these results are from. So as you can see obviously the numbers, the number of documents from different in different issues. And then you can also see to which tags this information is connected to. So I was searching for net neutrality, but at the same time, the information is connected to other tags as well. Then you can also see from which world regions the information is coming from. Not really coming from, or the information is all about, and what kind of text it is. Luis, would you like to add something to it at this side? Maybe we can cover what kind of information, what kind of documents we can find here.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Luis Meijuelo, and no comments so far because you have explained it very well. And yes, only some little add-ins that, as you can see in the refine by section, when you see issues and you see that, for instance, for a term like net neutrality, you can see different numbers. You can see that a simple term like this one, like net neutrality, can fall under various issues. It's only to clarify that. It's not that there are only 300 issues under development, but that there are also multiple aspects of net neutrality related to those issues. I think okay. Only that commentary.
And so this is as a basic functionality. So basically, you can browse from different for different issues, and then you can refine your search using specific tags or specific word regions. Luis, could you maybe add additional information on what kind of documents and what type of information can be found here? Because from what I see right now, for net neutrality, we have only text and events, but this is not all the types of information that we can find, right?
No, right. That type that you can see, that the text or event is not the type of document. It's more the type of content. I think it is a text referred to either an article or a news item that is mainly composed by text, but there are some special pieces of information that are events. We know that because usually they have a date, they have a place, and our tool can detect if it is talking about a future event or a news item talking about a past event or conference, for instance. It's only for that. But in a search results page, you can get as much type of documents as you want, because you can have, for instance, studies or any other kind of documents, like for instance PDFs, or you can have a blog post or an article, or even only timeline, a message in a social media platform like Twitter.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. Okay, so I advise you during the course of this presentation to have a look at the Observatory Tool and make searches, and then if you have any questions or remarks that you want to add, just feel free to add them. I see that a couple of people is raising hands. I'm not sure whether it's the right place to speak right now or later on, but let's try, and we're gonna decide whether we address questions later or not. The first person that wanted to speak up is Valentina Pavel. Valentina, I'm giving you the voice, so if you want to speak, it's possible right now. Hello? I cannot hear Valentina. And I also see that the second person that wanted to speak right now was Teresa Horeisova from Digital Watch and Diplo Foundation. Unmute Teresa. Hi, Teresa.
Yes, hello. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, so good afternoon. Thank you for organizing this next webinar, Kasia. And when we got the invitation, we thought it was a great idea to organize this kind of crash course, hands-on webinar on how to use the tool. And thank you also for the comments that you have had on the collaboration with other observatories. As some of you may know, I'm here representing one of the other observatories, the Geneva Internet Platform Digital Watch, and I can just back the words that indeed we are in touch with JIPO and also the other observatories about how to make our work complementary. And I would just like to add, one note on the concrete example of a cooperation that we have, and JIPO is now using the same taxonomy of internet governance issues as the GIP Digital Watch, which was developed by Diplo Foundation and which makes also the interoperability of the platforms kind of more realistic.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Teresa. That is exactly what I wanted to acknowledge. But now let's move on to more practical examples of JIPO, because I want to show you the tool as much as I can. So I ask you to browse through the link, but this is not everything that we have. So of course, JIPO Observatory Tool gives you the possibility to browse through different subjects of the internet governance policy, but it also, oh sorry, I'm too fast. The tool has also a dashboard which helps you to spot the burning issues of the day, search for topics of your interest, or see in which countries and regions your topics are unfolding most often at the moment of your search. And if you want to see the dashboard, here's the link to the dashboard. I can click the link. The other way to access the dashboard, let me see, if you want to access the dashboard, you can do it directly from the observatory tool itself. There is a link, dashboard, and we're trying to access it as well. Here we have the beta version of the dashboard where you can see the visualization of data for the search queries presented, net neutrality and zero rating. I'm going to do a kind of an exercise, and I'm going to try to present something else. This is, let me check. I'm going to switch off this thing. Here you have colors. You can play with the colors, but you can also decide just to switch it off. So let's say, I don't know if I'm going to make a mistake or not, but internet safer, maybe. Let's do safer internet for kids. So I chose one of the queries, safer internet for kids. And what do we see right now? And I chose the time interval 60 days. So within the 60 days, I can see how many hits we had. We had all in all, correct me, 1 to 0 available of paging, right? Something wrong. Let me check. I don't feel it's the right way I chose it. Luis, can you help me if I chose the right way of putting the keywords inside?
Yes, you must, yes, as you are writing now, between.
This is exactly what I wanted to show, because this is something that can create kind of an issue. I don't see anything. Let me check, maybe too many words. I see that within the 60 days, we had only 7 counts, and the results are still counting. How do I do, Luis, how should I do if I want to combine searches for 2 different words? How should I put it?
You can add as many searches as you want. There is a symbol at the right side of that bar, that field. You can see the plus sign, but not in the same search. The dashboard is different that in the other interface. You see the plus sign.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, and then if I want to add something, I just add additional 1, yeah? But when I add it, I see some kind of stars in the text. This means where I should put the text in, right?
Yes, this is the default search. That means everything.
Everything. So this means that I do this like this, and then it should show me all the results. Is that correct?
Yes.
Should I do the auto refresh?
No. Click on the symbol on the return. Yes.
Okay, so now you can see that I chose some keywords. I see the results. I can have a look in how many countries the result has been mentioned over the period of 60 days, and I can also see in which days it was mentioned. The most interesting part, you can see what are the results in which issues, tax, word, regions, but you can also adjust it, and I'm going to show you right now how to adjust it. So for example, what's interesting for me, I want to see more results on the page, yeah? So for example, if I do something like that, let's see if I'm gonna see more results. It's now, I can see that it's working. And I think, see, it adjusts how many results I can see on the page. I can also, from what I've seen, I can also choose whether it's scroll expanding. And as you see, that changes the visual side of the dashboard. And below you can also see how the search results are categorized according to the issues and which tags are most frequent mentioned. And why I'm showing you this, you can play with the visualization and try to do some other searches. But why I'm trying to show you this? I'm trying to show you this because this dashboard is something that you can use and implement also on your, I don't know, observatory sites or internet governance sites, and we're gonna show you how it was implemented by one of our partners. But please feel free to play a little with the site. Luis, if you want to add something, please do. If not, we can also cover some of the questions. I'm gonna have a look if somebody has a question right now. There is a question that it's relevant. Nicola is asking, does the database contain official policy documents produced by the institutions? Luis, that's the question for you.
Yes, of course. If these institutions are publishing that documents in the sources that the tool scans. I mean, maybe we missed some source, but if for instance these institutions publish their documents in some relevant website, or they them to the media, and we have these media as sources, obviously the tool should detect and add them to the database. But if you missed something, please tell us and where is it located, and we will try to add the source.
Okay, thank you, Luis. So coming back to the presentation, you can, as I said, you can connect the tool to your website, and that also answers the question that we have from Luis Bobo from IGF Secretariat of United Nations. I'm going to try briefly to explain how we can do that. So you can connect the tool to your website in a couple of ways. So first of all, you can use RSS feeds, or you can use the JIPO API and customize JIPO functionalities according to your interest. And in this way, the tool will automatically collect, analyze, and process information from web pages and social media platforms and display it on your website, depending on what kind of selection and customization you've done. And it should classify the information for maximum relevancy and return it for further use for you. There are 3 scenarios for using JIPO. So first of all, you can use JIPO as an RSS, basic RSS feed. It requires just basic HTML skills. Then you can use it as through API, which means that you need a little bit more advanced developer to customize the code of the JIPO to the needs of a specific user. And then you can use both. You can use API plus dashboard on top of it to present the specific results on the website. And it actually needs using the dashboard or implementing the dashboard doesn't require much of a skill. So how you can do it exactly, it is shown on our website in the section Open Data, where you can get more explanations and links to the manuals, but I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to try to briefly explain you how to do that with the help of Luis. So the first option, basic, current RSS feed. So every issue RSS feed address can be embedded in any website, and you can do it in a different way. You can decide how you can do it. Here we show you the hypothetical scenario where you can use the RSS feed and present the feed on your website. How you copy link of relevant feed of the issue, pass the link into an existing RSS widget, which is very often existing in the CMS type of web pages, and you can paste the code directly into your homepage code. And this is how you can come up with something like that. And the second option, more advanced one, is the use of API, which means that the fully customized the information, the JIPO Observatory Tool is fully customized to the individual website, and that needs a little bit more of an explanation or a developer skills. And we call it democratizing JIPO, where we have an API plus a dashboard. And David, before at the very beginning of today's webinar, told you about one of the examples, and I'm going to show it to you. It's not very well developed, but still, it's already an example of how you can customize it to the needs of the partner. So you can have a ready-made customized dashboard for without the resources, without the need of using the resources to the resources in form of a very experienced developer, and you can build on top of the API as well. We have an example of African Civil Society on the Information Society, ACIS, that use the JIPO dashboard and customize it on the website to monitor internet governance and policy issues in Africa. I'm going to show you the example right now. It's just a beta example of the usage, but what you can see, and maybe as you could recall here, we call it a working name of African Internet Observatory, where you can follow search different queries related only to African issues, and you can observe. As you can see, before you could see the whole world. Right now, you can see on Africa, and you can follow and see how many times, how the topics are mentioned across different countries in relation to different countries in Africa. So that's an example of how you can, in a very easy way, it took actually us 1 day, I think, implement the already existing dashboard onto the site of your organization in order to increase the accessibility of information on internet governance policy issues in the world, or in the specific region, or in the specific country. I encourage you to have a look into the example. And as an example, I'm going to just show you how it looked before. So, but here it takes a while. Oh, you see, this was the original dashboard for the whole world, and here, this is how it is incorporated into Africa for the organization in question. We have additional question, I see, from Luis Bobo. Luis, that's going to be also for you to answer. I would appreciate it if you can explain at least the outline of the integration of JIPO in the third party's website. I guess my explanation is a little bit less detailed than what Luis from the technical team can give. And then in the third case, I guess you would need to give the code of the dashboard to the customer so as we can customize it. But it would run in our servers, correct? Luis, that's for you.
Yes, of course. We give in a compressed file the code of the dashboard, and also another specific file which has the initial configuration of the dashboard. As you can see in our default dashboard, you can see the whole world and certain search queries. And in the case of the dashboard for Africa, you see different queries. These are different configuration files that that are instructions for the dashboard to make that queries, and those can also display. These files have all the parameters of the different components of the dashboard, and you can deploy these files in a web server, in your own web server. You only need to have access to internet, obviously, and test the connection with our servers, because this is a client application that uses in the API, and you have to connect it because you are querying a central database.
Okay, Luis, I'm gonna give the voice to Luis Bobo from IGF Secretariat. Luis, you are able to speak right now. I think you have more detailed questions as well.
Yes, no, indeed. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Perfect, thank you. Yes, no, indeed, you both answered me very well. This is Luis from IGF Secretariat, United Nations. The idea was that we will, in fact, embed or make some connection from our IGF website, international IGF website, to JIPO tool. We'll discuss details later, how to do this in these different issues, in these different ways that you have presented. Initially, maybe we can use the API, or maybe this system with the dashboard directly. The thing is that we also have to see what is the future of this tool indeed, and to discuss with many actors, and that would depend on what is this track it would depend what solution we use in our website. But the doubt was, in fact, about this third option, including the dashboard, because if the dashboard, of course, uses the API, I guess, behind it, and if we are going to use the dashboard and it was going to be easier than using directly the API, we would need at least the stub or the client part of the dashboard in order to customize it and put it really in any website, as the African Union has perfectly done. So thank you very much for this, and I'm very sorry that I have to leave this webinar, but I think it's an incredible tool that you have developed for the internet governance community, and we will try to give the best use of it for all the actors, among all of us, I guess. This webinar, and I will go to the materials later. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Luis. So if you have further questions, we can talk after the webinar in upcoming days. Thank you. Okay, so now coming back to the presentation, I don't know whether you have additional questions. Let me see whether there are any questions from the for Luis. I don't see anything specific right now. I hope you can hear me. Hello? I hope you can hear me, because now I cannot hear anybody. And so let me come back to the dashboard itself. As you could see, I adjusted the dashboard, and now we have the results that are more available. There are different elements of the dashboard, and you can actually decide which elements you want to have or not, whether you want to. You see, you can drag it and move it. You can change the position. I'm not very good in that right now, but you can definitely do it. Let me check where I can drag the position, change it. I'm gonna try here. No, it declines, but definitely you can do it. You can also decide which elements you want to have or not. I just switched off the map, and I decided to focus on this. Maybe I'll also try to switch off some other element like this, and suddenly the dashboard is more about on the search results. So it depends a little bit on you, how you want to shape it within the functionalities provided by the dashboard itself. Now coming back to the presentation, that was the example of Africa. This is the picture that I've already shown you on the website. And one more time, just to repeat how you can do it, you can just download the dashboard, install it in your website on a dedicated page, and customize default parameters to the interest of your organization. Optionally, you can provide links to relevant sources to be analyzed by JIPO. This is something that we are actually asking about, because sometimes the JIPO Observatory Tool is an automated tool. It relies on gathering the sources available through internet on different platforms. So first of all, we need to make sure that we have sufficient amount of sources gathered from which we can source the data that are later available for the search for by the users. But the sources need to be in a specific form. Not all sources are the right sources. So in any case, if you think that something is missing or something should be added, just let us know, and you can use it. You can do it using the link provided. I'm going to click the link, but you can also access this page directly from the JIPO Observatory Tool page, clicking sources. So here you can see what kind of sources we have, and you can suggest more sources. By putting your name, email, and information that you want to suggest. And coming back, as I mentioned before during the webinar, we have prepared the leaflet with the information about the JIPO Observatory Tool and all the practicalities and basic concepts that we discussed today. This is the leaflet. It's available also in handouts, so I hope you can find it in in the webinar application. If not, the leaflet together with the webinar material is going to be available after the webinar on our website. That's about it. So I really welcome all the questions or doubts or comments that you have. Please ask or ask for the voice, and I'm going to give you the voice. I'm just checking whether there are any additional questions. I think we replied to most of them. I don't see any questions. Luis, would you like to add something additional to the explanation of the tool?
Okay, nothing much. I think that what I encourage all the people here today is to test the tool, to play with it. You will not break anything, so play as much as you can with it. And if you find some functionalities that you maybe don't understand, and you think that can be improved, or any missing functionality that could be useful for your needs, please also tell us, and we can analyze it, and if you provide us a way of contact, an email or something, we can get in touch and discuss it further, so we can help to you, and you will help us to improve the tool for the whole community.
Okay, thank you very much, Luis. And I would like to give the voice to our advisory group member, Prahim Percy Kenyanito. Can you unmute yourself? We're gonna try sometimes to have some technical. Oh, yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Yeah. So, first of all, I don't have so much to add. It's good that you've given the example that Dr. Sisen organization they worked on specifically on Africa because can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sometimes we have some problems with connection, but let's try. If you can speak a little bit louder.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, so I don't have much to add, just very excited about this tool, especially given the scarcity of information around African internet governance issues, because it's something, one of my greatest interests. I hope that the rest, I can see a lot of attendees here from some African countries who I'm sure this tool is going to be helpful, and I hope you spread the word. And if you want to add some more information, feel free to reach out so that it can have, it can be more comprehensive, and it can cover, it can bring to forth the issues that are covered in the continent, and not just in the continent but all over. So this is my 2 cents for now, and looking forward to hearing back from everyone.
Thank you, Ephraim. So I will, maybe I can just add that right now we are coming to the end of the webinar because we already exceeded the time for the webinar. But I wanted also to thank you all for participating in the webinar. I hope you're gonna use this information in the future, and you're gonna explore the global observatory tool to your advantage in the future. In addition to that, I would like to add that the next JIPO session is going to be a live session in Africa, and it's going to take place during the African Internet Governance Forum around around 16th to 18th of October. So if you're around at the time, you are invited to our JIPO workshop. And if not, we for sure gonna all the materials available afterwards. Let me check whether there are some final questions, and if not, I'm gonna close the session. No, there's no additional questions. So I would like to thank you all for participating in today's webinar, and the session is coming to an end. Goodbye. Thank you.